Rob, we live in I guess, a time or an age, an era where there's just information around us 24/7. I wonder what your thoughts are about the potential impact of, news coverage, media coverage of disasters and emergencies on young people and children.
I think it's very significant. What I noticed with Black Saturday was that they kept playing the same clip over and over again for weeks and weeks. It was the most horrific clip of flames. And this is not helpful at all, because actually a lot of people had other experiences. So I think with young people, children particularly, we should be much more aware during that recovery period of televisions on in the background, radios going, because the younger the child, the more they will mix their own imaginary interpretations in with the facts. And they will often come out with things that are completely unrealistic. For example, a preschool child who saw her mother weeping when she heard about the September 11 and the plane impacting, and that was on television, drew the conclusion that that must be happening in Melbourne because her mother was so upset. And they were in an inner suburb, and she thought actually their lives were in danger. And it's so important to, if the children young people do get exposed to information, to talk it over with them. And this sort of commentary on what they're experiencing, and most importantly what they're telling to each other, because often a more emotionally distressed child will actually tell a whole lot of stuff that is to do with their imagination. Yeah. And young people and kids will come home and say, I know it's true because my friend David told me.
Yeah. So there's sort of two important things there, I think. One, parents being really aware of the importance of putting boundaries around access to media, and devices, etc., because what children definitely don't need, and I guess this is what you're explaining in young people too, is just access 24/7 for a whole number of reasons. But then secondly, it's really important for parents to talk to children and young people about what's occurring, help them build an understanding, and make sure they've got the facts right in their head.
And I think the other thing is that the news is biased to bad news, because that's what is most compelling and emotional. And so if you just watch the news, there's not much reason to actually live in the world.
No, no news is good news, as they say.
But, it's so important for people to understand all the good things are happening. You may need to draw to the child's attention that if we take something like the Burke Street, one person creates mayhem, and thousands and thousands of people are mobilised to help. And that help goes on and on and on. This is really what society is, not the one disturbed or criminal person or the one natural event that happens, but the whole way in which society comes together, and government policies and everything comes together to try and help people through. We need to talk about that with children and young people. Otherwise, one of the findings is there's a big risk they come out of this feeling a bit cynical and pessimistic. I don't think that needs to be the case.
No, that's not helpful at all.
Yeah, and attending celebrations and community events and watching how people recover is a very important way of giving them a real experience to counteract what they're getting on the media.
Yeah, absolutely.